Hey guys, welcome to Podcast Fandom, the official podcast for ProjectFandom.com. I'm your host, Nina.
I'm Donald.
And I'm Kaylee.
And we are back to talk about Black Summer. We're going to be talking about episodes 7 and 8, the end of the first season, super short season. We just finished watching the episode a short while ago. Kaylee. Because see, Donnie, when you watch this, you already know what's going to happen, right? Or have you forgot?
I did not remember this finale. I feel like I probably saw it, but I did not remember anything from this fucking finale.
Okay. How long ago did you watch this?
When it came out.
When was that?
Probably 2 years ago.
Oh. I was about to make fun of you for your terrible memory.
Well, because I'm old.
Goldfish brain, I know you ain't talking.
But not when it comes to TV shows. I remember that.
Okay, Kaylee, what did you think of these episodes?
I enjoyed them. I was, I forgot that there was only 8 episodes in the first season, so when we reached the end of episode 8, I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I didn't realize that was it. But once again, I'm just impressed by how they managed to shoot all these scenes.
Mm-hmm.
And, there's, a lot of times in these episodes where they'll, as an example, the end of this last episode, as they're walking down into the
mm-hmm.
stadium, the field, there's this one long shot of them just walking down to the field, and the camera stayed right where it was. And I was like, the episode's probably going to end here, because that's I noticed that's how they've mostly been doing it. They'll just have the camera focus on this one shot for a long time, and then it just ends, and it goes to the next scene. But it didn't end, and I was surprised. I really thought it would end there.
You mentioned this before, and you're absolutely right. They're doing that shit on purpose. They let these scenes go on for an uncomfortable length of time.
Mm-hmm. Not I was just thinking this to myself. It's not a bad thing, because it doesn't make me think, oh, just get on with it already. It's
right.
It's just long enough to make me feel anxious.
Yes, it's just long enough for me to be like, I'm turning this shit off because my heart can't take it. Like when she was walking down that hallway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then it changes to the viewpoint. It's almost making you feel like you were her running down, or you're behind her running down the hallway as the camera's bouncing. And the whole time I was just why are they not seeing her flashlight? Why are they not stopping? What the?
They didn't care. Yeah. You find out
later
later that they didn't care, but you don't know what. Before that, you don't know what it is at all. At least I couldn't tell. And I'm like, is it people? Are they moving? Is it I couldn't tell if she was getting closer to a stationary thing, or it was just so fucking unnerving. And the fact that the camera is bouncing, that you can't focus on what's down at the end of the hallway. It's impossible. And it was only as she was getting closer at one point, I was like, I think it's people. Because I couldn't even tell if it was people that she was walking towards, or what was going on. And it was just so unnerving and uncomfortable. But I was
the whole thing in that, with them, with the 2 soldiers with them, because the whole time you're like, is it the 2 guys from the first episode or not? Because there was no acknowledgement that they knew each other up until that hallway scene.
Well, no, I think there was before that. I think Kaylee pointed it out. But wait,
it was obvious. It was just the way they were looking at each other.
Yeah, the way they were. Yeah,
It could have been hey, I know that's not that guy, because I was waiting for them to see his uniform. Oh, he's not that guy, because I know who that guy was, type of thing.
Yeah, no, but what I mean is when they saw them and face to face and all of that, they didn't right away be oh, you're so and so and you must have gotten away or whatever. They made it seem like they didn't know him and he didn't know them, except the way I kept calling him Sunshine because that's what he was calling Spears. I didn't get his name. But the other guy, the way Sunshine and Spears were like mean mugging each other. Like, I was like, I can't tell if that's the guy from the first episode or not. And I was like, you would think they would say something. And then Kaylee was like, I don't know. They still might know each other because of the way they're looking at each other. And I was like, okay, he might be waiting for like a time to say something, you know? But yeah, this was stressful. All right, let's talk about it. So I always forget, right, Kaylee, how stressed out this show makes me until I'm watching it and we get to that first moment where I'm like, what the fuck, what the fuck, what the fuck? Okay. So episode 7 is the tunnel, and basically these two soldiers lead our group through these tunnels that are going to take them to the stadium. The first title card for this episode was Soldiers, and our group is meeting up in this, like, obviously, like, predetermined location in this hallway with the weapons that they stole. And my first note, I said to Kaylee, how does Sun know how to handle guns like this? Mm-hmm. Like, if you handed me, like...
Sun was a fucking G in the finale.
She really was. She's always a G. I do like that the women are capable so far.
Right.
Mm-hmm. We haven't had, like, I mean, poor Barbara. Yeah, I know. She couldn't even put a fucking seatbelt on. She wasn't long for this world. She lasted the appropriate number of episodes for her skill set. I think Maps just rolled a really high number in luck. Otherwise, because his skill is not that high. But anyway, and when they all meet up and Carmen shows up and she's like, "Where's Manny?"
I don't remember what happened to Mandy. You guys have to know.
What the fuck is wrong, Kaylee? Do you see what I mean?
We were joking about it before we started watching the episodes. I was telling you, like, right before we started the episode, I'm like, do you think Sun is gonna have to explain what happened to Manny to everyone else, but, like, using, like, hand gestures?
Buy 2 Barbies here.
How do you not remember what happened to Manny in the vents?
Oh, okay, yeah.
That terrifying shit. But she's like, "Where's Manny?" And nobody says anything. And she asks again, and I was like, literally read the room. If he's not here, he's
right.
dead.
Even the Margot Robbie character, when the guys ask how many are you, and she's like, somebody says 8. She goes, no, there's only 7.
7, yeah. It's terrible. But yeah, they end up getting rescued by those 2 soldiers. The next card is Sleep, and they like settle into this. I can't tell what this was. It looked almost like a food court or some shit that they're gonna sleep in for the night. And they meant the 2 what?
Because they're supposed to be underground in tunnels, underground food court.
Well, I don't know what this is supposed to be. Like, it feels like this is like it was. Because where they met up, like, the most sense is that this is...
That was, like, the planned meeting spot.
Right, but the most sense is that it's somewhere not too far from where they just left. And also, there were still people, like, running from that. Like, you know what I mean? Like, all the chaos and the zombies and all that stuff that was going on that the soldiers rescued them from, those were people from the raid. So, but the fact that they never, like, went outside and... wherever they were, they could apparently travel through that.
No, they did go. Well, because...
did they?
What? Yeah, the one guy was...
Well,
remember, because they came out the vent, and they were outside.
No. I mean, when they were with those guys, though. They were inside. When the soldiers saved them... Right, they never went outside. That's what I mean. So...
Yeah.
Apparently, wherever this was, it's close to where the rave was, but also a way that they can... get to close to the stadium without going outside.
Gotcha.
So I'm just trying to think of, like, what kind of place that... Kaylee, when I made the reservations for us when we thought we were going to see BTS in 2020, the hotel, the one that was like, it's really nice and it's super expensive. I should have fucking kept it now.
The one that was like right next to the stadium.
Yeah, but it had like you could go to it without leaving the hotel. Like it was attached somehow.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, I know.
All right, all over.
Right? I was like, that would be amazing. You could like literally just like wake up and go to the concert. But anyway, we'll keep that in mind for next time because, man, we get through COVID. I'm just living life, man. Anyway, so the two soldiers, they start talking about, because at first Rose doesn't want to stay the night, right? She wants to keep going to the stadium, obviously, because of her kid. But they're like, there's no sense in us going above ground or going outside until daybreak. And he says the Flyboys are repaving. And I was like, oh, okay, that's what that's flying, the military jets that they're flying over. And the way, you tell me if you guys got a different thing from it, but what it felt like they were saying was that, like, shit jumped off apparently in Houston?
Denver, yeah.
Denver, okay, was the first city to go. I wonder if that is something from Z Nation. Because you know how, like, and usually in
Z Nation, they had, like, I thought the whole plot of Z Nation, they had to get to like
some lab or some shit like that.
Shit,
yeah. But anyway, so he made it seem like, you know, once that first city went, and he said it took like 72 hours for it to go black. And then, like, he mentioned a city in Texas, which made William say, oh, what about Houston? Because I have family there. And they were just like, I don't know. But you could kind of see it in his face that he took that as they're probably dead, dude. Like, right. You know, you can see it in William's face.
They always say places where nobody was at.
Right. They said that these urban areas, right. Like the middle of nowhere is probably the safest. So, like, through all of that, he was talking about, like, these evacs that happen every few hours, like 18 hours or something like that. And how Hawaii is not letting anybody. Hawaii is shooting down planes.
Mm-hmm.
Man, oh man. But also, that's kind of like, I mean, I guess if you live in Hawaii, you have to be, I don't know. You'd have to be comfortable with water to some degree, right?
Right.
Because I would think if you're living on an island or one of the islands when something like this kicks off, that's a good and a bad thing, if that makes sense. Like, it's good in that you don't have to worry about any more zombies coming. Whereas, like, you know, like here on the ground in the United States, like, they can shift, like the horde that's coming. So you don't have to worry about that per se, but you do have to worry about, it also limits your escape options.
Right.
So if you don't have access to a boat, and that's what I meant about, like, good with water. If you don't have access to, but anyway.
I feel bad for that person that become to Hawaii and then shit breaks off. You're like, oh yeah, that person just came from Denver. And like, we got to kill that fucker before he turns.
Yeah, so it felt like when he says repaving, it feels like they are
just
well, yeah, and it kind of makes sense. It kind of explains what I was saying before, where it felt like people aren't, like, I don't think anybody's, well, most people probably aren't living in their actual homes, but we see people just like nomads, you know, just like on their way trying to get to the stadium or safety or finding food and just hunkering down wherever they can. And it seems like they doing these flyovers and bombing certain areas where shit gets hectic because they're trying to control the zombie population, if that makes sense.
This is where I thought, like, it was, like, I felt like this stuff kicked off because they didn't really give us a direct timeline or anything like that.
Well, we know Rose has been on the road for like 5 or 6 weeks.
But like wherever they're living, it seems like it just started there recently. Like it just popped off because when he's saying that everybody's trying to get to the stadium, and he says they haven't even started the first evac yet. Like he's like, oh, the first evac is in 18 hours or whatever it is. It's like, okay,
that
so
would make
why
sense.
are you just now evacuating people from this city?
Yeah, it would. Yeah.
It's like they were trying to keep it contained to certain areas, but then it just kept breaking out.
So when they're all sitting around, like, before they go to sleep and they're talking and this stuff, right? Like, they're, you know, they're telling them information, they're asking questions, and they show that guy, and I was like, oh, I forgot about him, the guy with the beard, and you can't see his mouth. Yeah. And I was like, chia, chia. And I was singing the Chia Pet song, and then it cuts to Carmen, and she's sobbing, and I was like, oh, I forgot about that. I was like, oh, I guess she figured out Manny ain't coming. Because they never showed anybody telling her.
No, she just kept looking back. It was like every so often,
I just loved that she gets it. Yeah. She's like, okay, it's been like 4 hours. I guess he's not coming. And then the whole time this is going on, Spears and Sunshine are just mugging each other the whole fucking time. Fucking Sun starts talking to her mom and apologizing and shit. Because it feels like this was the part where people like her, like William, people who had family that are still like out there. This is them realizing it's over. Like, whatever you thought was going to happen at this stadium that was going to lead to some sort of reunion or rescue of your loved ones, that's not happening. And
except
I felt
for
like
Rose, apparently.
Right. Well, and I was going to say, you could see Rose, though, she was still, and I think that plays a role in her doing what she did later, because she's the only one that still has hope, because her person is at the one place that for whatever reason they thought was safe. Yeah, that's what I mean. So, but yeah, she starts talking to her mom, and I can only make out like a bit of what she was saying. For one, I was like, wow, this is lower than I usually watch TV. And then I just kept being too lazy to like reach over and find a remote to turn it up. So I just kept trying to like strain in here. But I know she said something about, and I assume she was talking to her mother, because at the very end she apologizes. So I just assumed that she was talking to her mother, and she talked about something about eating food. I heard her say Oma a few times, but like she was acting her ass off, and everybody crying. And then you cut to Spears and fucking Sunshine. They just ruining a good fucking Maps was sobbing. None of them fuckers speak Korean, and they were like, oh, this is some sad shit. Because I think everybody, you know, they was realizing, oh, man, this is it. They're like, we family now.
I like how they were in the hallway, and the fucking Spears, it's like, where the fuck did he come from?
He was like, is that who I think it is? I know that ain't who I think it is. Perhaps. So then I just, the last part of this section I just have in my notes, I hope they're really soldiers. I might have said that to Kaylee at one point.
Yeah,
like,
you did.
None of these niggas is soldiers. So then Passage is the next part. And this is the scene with Rose waking up. And now in retrospect, see this, I love this. I love this because Kaylee, you mentioned this, how like there's not a lot of dialogue in the show for the most part, and it just, you're coming to conclusions. Yeah.
Felt like there was no dialogue.
Oh my god, that felt like a fucking documentary. But but you know what I mean? Like, for instance, the stuff with Spears and Sunshine, like, I could have just stopped the episode and fired up episode 1 or 2 or whatever it was and gone back to see if that was I didn't recognize both soldiers, but I thought the one that looked Hispanic, I thought he was the one from the beginning. I could have done that, but I was like, no, let's just watch. And because they didn't have the characters react right away, clearly the story is okay with you not knowing right away. If you don't, right? Like, if you didn't recognize him, the story is okay with that, because they didn't do anything other than just having them like stare at each other. But that could just be, you know, you just can't be trusting niggas in the zombie apocalypse, you know. So it just could be, you know, whose dick is bigger type thing. They just mugging each other. But I love that, you know, Kaylee, as Kaylee pointed out, well, they still could recognize each other, and that's why they're doing that. So you have to like assume, or, you know, like contextually figure out that this is what's going on. And I love that about this show, particularly here when she wakes up, because this has happened to me. And typically it happens, it's usually Donnie going to work, where I will wake up and I won't know what woke me up. But I know something woke me up. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I didn't wake up on my own. It wasn't like a gradual, you know, you coming out of a dream. It's just like violently my eyes open. I'm like, wait, why am I awake? Mm-hmm. And I know there must have been something that just happened that registered while I was sleeping, but I don't know it because now I'm awake. And then like a few seconds later, I'll hear the garage door. And I'm like, oh, Donnie's leaving. That, you know what I mean? Like that type of thing. So when she woke up, it was because she could hear they left.
Right.
And she's laying there for a moment, like, why am I awake? What was that? What? And then she goes looking. But Kaylee, do you remember? I was like, if she's not dreaming, I'm going to be pissed. Because on the surface, this was like the stupidest fucking thing in the world for her to do. Good for Spears. But this could have potentially been terrible for her. You know? Like, where are you going? And the fact that she was like...
Even then, she comes across the zombies and stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, and she's like, I'm sorry. And at first, like, I thought it was a dream. When she wakes up and she's calling for Spears, and then she leaves, and no one else wakes up. Like, no one else is like, what the fuck, where is her? You know? I was like, oh, this feels like a dream. And then when she ran into the zombie body on the ground... I thought it kind of looked like where she and Ryan found those bodies in the school. You know, so I thought she was like walking through that, if that makes sense. I was like, oh, is that one of the bodies that was on the floor in the showers or whatever? But no, her ass was just following noises.
I think, because you were like, why isn't she like waking the others up? Like, that's like the first thing you would do. You would wake up the others and go looking for Spears. But I think in the end, if she did wake up the others and they were all there to discover the soldiers taking Spears away, I think it would have ended badly.
Oh, it would. Oh, it absolutely would have.
Yeah, because I don't think everyone would have been on Spears' side.
Right. That was a decision that a gamble she took that only she could because of what she's been through with him. Nobody else would be obligated to believe him over
the military.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, that hallway scene was so fucking stressful. And then they're like, and so it was about just shit, loot, whatever the fuck that means.
There's some hidden
money, what?
Like that, right. Yeah, just like some loot or whatever.
Yeah, I'm like, what? Y'all got to get y'all priorities. Y'all are probably, I would not even say a day away if you're not already to be currency is meaningless. Like,
right. This is like the fucking whole last episode with the whole drug underground.
Right. Like, what are you? I mean, I can imagine that look at what's going on with COVID. Like, it's not all that different than motherfuckers going to like spring break during COVID. You know, it's the same mentality where it's like the world is fucked up and there's a public health crisis and you don't have your shit together. You don't have your priorities straight. You don't think it's real or you don't think it'll happen to you. Whatever the fuck it is that has your ass up in a warehouse rave in the middle of the Z-Pop. We still don't know what Maps was doing there. I got my eye on him. So yeah, when they're telling her this story, and listen, and she's like, but I got to get to. There was a moment where I thought she might have been like, look, I don't give a fuck what you do with him. Like, are you coming back to take me to this stadium?
Yeah.
And it felt like she was asking that, but not like not in that, like the way I said it, you know, she was just like, I need to get to the stadium, you know, like, okay, let's say you are meting out justice here, but are you coming back? And like, you could see her weighing her options. And there was like a brief moment where I almost said to Kaylee, what if she just kills them? I was like, nah, because she didn't even have the weapon out. Right? Like, she
was holding it, definitely.
Was she holding it? I felt like, I don't know.
I know she was holding a flashlight for sure.
She was definitely holding the flashlight.
She had a gun.
But like,
yeah.
in my memory, I've made this woman more of a badass, I guess, because in my head, I picture her reaching back and pulling it out from like her waistband in the back of her jeans. It makes way more sense that she already had it in her hand. I don't know if she's a G. She's not Sun, okay? Let's not get carried away. But yeah, she took that. He still don't know he did. He didn't know. I don't know what he was thinking, but he didn't finish it, that thought, because she popped him in the back of the head, and then she got homeboy in the chest a few times. Now, they stood there, and I said to Kaylee, they might turn. At least the white guy. Because I didn't see her shoot him in the head. I thought it was just like chest shots. But he stopped moving, and then he didn't turn right away. So I was like, okay. But then you see him later. So apparently, I guess that he was just unconscious and dying when they left. Which, I need people to stop doing that. I need you to do like that lady did at the stadium and double tap that head. You need to... You need to make sure that these zombies are dead. But yeah, Rose is a badass. I appreciate that, though. I would like to think that's what I would do. Kaylee? What would you have done?
Would I have, are you asking if I would have shot them?
Yeah, would you have believed them? Did you think that they were believable?
I think... Well, in the end, I don't know if she didn't believe them or not. I think she just definitely trusted Spears more because he's been protecting her this entire time. So I also probably would have done that too.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. Even if you don't believe, it's like you don't care.
Right, you've been spending these last few days with this one guy that's been protecting you.
And I guess it also, and like I said, it feels like you take a gamble, but she's the only one that could have. Because she's the only one that had that information. And yeah, if it's like, well, what do I know? I know this motherfucker has saved my life a bunch of times. I don't know that these guys are telling the truth. Right? So,
and at this point, does it fucking matter? Who's following the law? Or even if he's arrested, it's like, you're really going through with arresting this when the world's basically
well, they weren't even trying to arrest him. Which
I know, but in her head, why... These guys should just be trying to save their own asses, but they're going through with their own personal whatever it is.
But actually,
I wouldn't even say it was personal, but let's say in her head that they're telling her, "Hey, he's a bad guy. We're arresting him. We're taking him back to fucking jail or whatever, some shit." But it's like, why? The whole world's like, you just told us cities are going black and shit. If
they were making it seem like they were just, again, meting out justice that they were authorized to do. And their reasons were righteous. So you would think, though, and in retrospect, I remember thinking, when we were watching it, I remember thinking, and I might have said this to you, Kaylee, but why not just, if you're going to a place that the military is running, right? Like this stadium, right? Taking people in, taking care of them, evacuating, whatever. And this is someone who committed a crime again. Why wouldn't you just take him with you and turn him in? Why are we at a point where you have the power to murder somebody on a rooftop? You don't. So, but then this is where I feel like there's a bit of a hole in the plot, just a little one. Because again, it's like, if the military isn't in charge, right? If there's no one in charge anymore, why are y'all going to the stadium? I get why she's going. That's why I say it's a little hole, because she just knows a truck took her kid there. So she's going to that stadium regardless. And I get that. So would I. I need to know where my kids are. But Spears supposedly understands what's really going on and that there's no one really in charge. So why is he going to the stadium? What are they... When you realize all this shit is really fucking terrible, what do you think is... And then when you show up at the stadium and it's
you don't want to die.
The Hunger Games.
He wants to escape. They all just don't want to be in this...
I guess. I guess. Because what are you going to do? Stay and wait for the horde? Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
this is supposedly the only way that they're escaping the city. That's what they're told, is to get to the stadium and get you back.
Okay. Fair. What were you saying, Kaylee?
Oh, if everyone's heading to the stadium, if that's what everyone thinks is a safe place, and others are going to be going there, you probably want to go there yourself, whether or not there's actually anything there. You'll just want to probably keep up with as much survivors as possible.
And that's what we see here.
Yeah. So after What?
The start of the second episode, just people walking up with guns.
I know, it's just weird. Like, everybody.
Like, where did all these people get guns from?
They were robbing.
Their stories.
They were robbing all the raids. That's going to be season 2. It's just like the backstory of everybody that showed up. It's gonna be, bunch of flashbacks. So when they go back, like when everybody is like, they wake up and they're starting to like pack up their shit, and Spears and her return, and they're like, where are the other two? And they're like, they didn't make it. She said that shit like, she said it like she didn't just kill them in cold blood. Like some like zombies got them. And they were like, all right, so we leave him. So it's sunrise, right? They're leaving. Kaylee pointed it out to me too. It's so funny. The way Spears gave Maps his gun. It's like, take this, you little bitch. Yeah. He just like tossed it at him. Yeah. And when they get outside, Chia Pet calls his dog and leaves. He don't even say goodbye.
That's the dog from the other episode.
Yeah.
Yes. He is literally Daryl from The Walking Dead. Listen, this motherfucker dipped, okay?
Didn't even say bye. Didn't even look back.
Nope.
Oh,
did he ever talk?
No.
I don't think we ever heard him say anything, no.
Well, there was a point where he called out to Rose and Spears when they found that diner. That's all I remember.
Hi, Nico. So, okay. So episode 8 is The Station, Survivors. So, yeah, this opening is like a video game. Mm-hmm. This opening felt like, I told Kaylee...
yeah, that's exactly, like, I didn't have any notes, but if I had any notes, that's it. Like, it reminded me, because I just played, like, Kaylee's played it too, Left 4 Dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This reminded me of something like that. There's a new game that I just actually started playing today called Back 4 Blood, and it's I heard of that. Yeah, so it's like the new Left 4 Dead. Left 4 Dead, and that's what it is. You're just thrown out to the zombie apocalypse, and there's just other people, and so it's just weird.
Yeah, it feels like, and I was trying to think of like, I mean, obviously this game doesn't have zombies, but like I was telling Kaylee, like World of Warcraft, where it felt like, what is that, like an open, what's it called, open world? Yeah. So it's like other players that you could harm if you wanted to, but
right?
You shouldn't.
Right. Like
right. You could team up to fight.
Most video games are gonna have friendly fire is gonna be on, so you can shoot each other. But this is like the hardest mode. Like
friendly fire is off.
Like, popped off because people don't know how to fire a gun.
Right. It's like
civilians.
It's like a little. Did you see the little kid?
I was like, there was probably one zombie there, and then they just started shooting each other and accident.
But like, here's the like when they showed up and they're like all walking out. There's like a little kid with a gun, and like one person dies, and like one zombie runs up. Like it feels like they were coming obviously from the direction they were trying to go to. So whether that was like whether they were inside the stadium or right outside the stadium, whatever. Yeah, but like they're running up and they kill him. And then this woman walks up, puts 2 in the head for good measure. And I'm like, wow. Like, they're not even really talking to each other except for things like, get him to your left. Like, I was like, wow. But then the moment Carmen gets accidentally shot and starts coughing up blood, like, they all turn into buffoons. It's like, oh, how do I hold a gun and run at the same time? I was like, what the fuck are y'all doing? Y'all let her cough up blood in turn. When they should have did, like what Sun did a little bit later, when she accidentally shot that man.
I told you she was a fucking G right there. She actually shot him and she didn't even think seconds. She just fucking shot him in the head, second shot.
I mean, she took a second.
Yeah, she did. She's like, oh, fuck, I killed somebody. And then she's like, well, better finish him.
Right? She did the math, and she was like, 2 + 2 is 4.
But this whole finale, it was just so fucked up.
It was, I mean,
we lost people left and right.
This is like, honestly, this is so much better than The Walking Dead. Because it's not stupid. Like, it's just like things that are happening that, like, you know, it feels real. Like, this is what it feels like it would really be like. Like, motherfuckers accidentally shooting each other.
This is like what if The Walking Dead was going to show us, like, the day that the shop,
like
even,
if
a day or two after the shit popped off,
Or
But
if
unfortunately, Walking Dead, Rick was asleep the whole time, so we didn't see it. But this would be like the first 2 days where everybody's trying to get out of the fucking city.
it's what Fear the Walking Dead was supposed to be.
Right, but it failed.
Even that did. Like, so Fear the Walking Dead was a spinoff, Kaylee, that was supposed to show us, like, how humanity lost, you know, like how we got to the zombie apocalypse that we were just thrust into with The Walking Dead. And so we are watching it, and like the first episode, it's like the day it happens, like everything's normal, and like of course like shit kicks off, and then like the very next episode is like 9 weeks later, and they're like, what? Shit's already fucked up. And we're like, no, this series was supposed to be about how we got there. It's like, it's not The Walking Dead again. It's like, oh, okay. Anyway, so yeah, Carmen gets shot and turns, and they let that happen. So then the next section is downtown, and they get separated. And we're with Sun and Spears, who his name is still Spears, even though they told us his name.
Julius James.
I'm not calling him that. Maybe someday I'll call him JJ, but that's about it. That's the best I can do. For right now, he's still Spears. So Spears is with Sun, and we talk about this. Yeah, she accidentally kills a man, then she on purpose kills him. And then there's like an explosion, and we never really see what that explosion is, but clearly it's the whatever bombing that the military is doing, right? Those jets flying over. What? Repaving. Kaylee, you said that this was really unsettling.
Oh, because, like, I always just get a little paranoid when I hear loud planes flying overhead. Mm-hmm. So, like, to see it actually happen in a TV show is just even more unsettling. Like, I've always had, like, just...
Yeah, I don't like it.
I don't like it. It makes me uncomfortable.
Like, 2 days ago, we live near a small airport, and 2 days ago, a plane was coming in or leaving, and it wasn't, like, obviously, like, a big, like, a passenger jet, but, it was, like... it sounded like it was lower than it should have been. So therefore it was louder than I was comfortable with. And I'm sitting here the whole time like, please don't crash into this house. It's been a rough 2 years. Please either land safely or go away. Just don't be here, okay? It was so loud. It was making me uncomfortable. But yeah, so they get, like, there's this explosion, and I panicked because the way the actress did it, like, you know, when you have, like, the moment of whatever the impact is supposed to be, and if you've ever watched anything be filmed, like, we know it's just, like, you know, somebody off camera going, bang, you know, so the actors can, like, oh, you know, and when that happened, the way this actress chose to do it, I thought she got shot in the chest. And I was about to be done with this whole fucking show. I thought Sun was gone.
You turned to me, she's like, did she just get shot? Is she gonna die? And I'm like, no, even in the captions it said explosion.
I didn't see that. Okay, I just saw her chest pop out and I was like, what the hell? So then we have fall. Kaylee, do you remember us trying to figure out what this might mean?
Yeah, I was like, fall? Who's falling? What does that mean? And then it like opens up with them climbing upstairs and I'm like, is someone gonna fall off a building? And then you're like, the show's called Black Summer. Maybe it's the last day of summer and we're transitioning into fall.
It's gonna be symbolic. Like the final fade to black is like a tree leaf turning orange.
Black Fall season.
Black Fall season 2. So, and you know what? Like I like about this I hope I'm going to be able to explain this right, because in my notes I just put together, but not really. But like I like too how like you can see people are together, but also not really. Like they don't. Like, they help each other to the extent that you would hope that, like, your basic humanity gives you, right? Like, you have basic level humanity. I'm not going to leave a motherfucker to die. Even if it's a white person, I'll help them, I suppose. You know, like, even if they're a Trump supporter. Like, you're supposed to have, like, this basic level humanity. And I feel like the people in our group so far have been that and maybe a little bit above, you know? But they're not, like, where it would be like us. You know? Like, where you'd be like, no, mom, leave me. And I'd be like, okay. Like, no. Like, it would be a discussion, right? Like, I'd be like, what do you mean leave you? No. And then I wouldn't, you know? But, like, I like that we see with these people that it's like they're gonna help each other, but also it's like, okay, sorry. Like how quickly Rose killed my man William.
Was that was who they were holding, right?
Yeah,
yes.
it showed his ankle.
She just gave him a shot in the head, and I was like, that was fucked up.
He said, please do it. And
he slowed us down.
But also, I don't blame him too, because like if I can't run and I'm gonna die, I don't want to get eaten and turn. Yeah. So just might as well. Like fuck it.
I completely missed what happened to Map, so I don't know if you guys like.
Hold on, I'll get there.
Okay. He got his own little title card.
Mm-hmm. So Rose and
why does he have his own title card? What's significant about him? Is he die here finally?
No. Mm-mm. So Rose and William get separated. There's more jets and explosion, and then Rose ends up finding William again. Like he gets because he's like really getting fucked up, and like you said, the ankle is like getting worse. And we see him on his own for a bit. Do you remember, Kaylee? Mm-hmm. Like ducking down behind stuff, and it was, but yeah, she eventually gets back to him, and then we're with Maps. Atlanta.
You almost called him by his real name.
Because I have that written here in my notes. And turns out he's saved by Carmen. Zombie Carmen. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Zombie Carmen was hilarious. These zombies are crazy because first of all, do you guys know that commercial? I don't know if I think it might be Geico, but there's like that football player and it'll be like somebody about to do something that they shouldn't do. And then like somebody in line with 12 items and a 10 items or less line at the supermarket, and they're standing there, and then he just comes out of nowhere and he just like tackles them to the ground.
Yeah.
And he's like, not on my watch, like that type of shit. That's what those zombies are. Like people will just be standing or running, and then you have like a fucking like a mountain lion in the wild just jumping on top of you, and I'm not okay with that. That's not what zombies are supposed to do. And fucking Carmen was the funniest of all, because she'd be like chasing somebody, but then like another zombie would get there first, and she'd be like, and then turn around and start running another direction. I was like, these zombies too goddamn smart. On The Walking Dead, it would be 50 fucking motherfuckers trying to eat one person instead of turning around to get the other motherfuckers running away. Right, Tawny? They would not do that. They wouldn't stop eating somebody to like, or
go
stop because because some other zombie got there first.
Yeah, that's where I like the scene where they shoot William. I felt like that, like the whole pathway, because you had these little roadblocks like every other thing, but they were in front, and then you had Rose and behind them, right? It was Rose behind them, right?
Yeah, Rose was running, helping William, and it was Sun and Spears at first, and then it was just Spears. Okay,
and so you'd see, like, then, like, who's ever in the back is killing, like, the zombies, but they're running past the first three that are, like, dragging William, and I just thought it was kind of weird. Like, why are they avoiding them and coming for the people in the back?
I don't know. I think you might have been confused, because that don't make sense. No, but I mean, because like, no, but I think, there were times when, I'm not like trying to dunk on you or not. And like when Kaylee and I were watching, there were times when you couldn't tell people from zombies because of the way they run. Mm-hmm. And so it's like people would run up and I'd be like. But
Rose was shooting them. That's what I was like. That's where I was confused. It's like they just popped up out of in between the two.
Oh,
like if you watch the scene again, like they're going through that little run. I guess it's the hallway to get into the stadium, but there's just zombies coming at Rose while the other three in front of her dragging like the two are dragging William. But I was just like, why are they avoiding them? They're just coming right at Rose.
Because Rose is a Titan. I mean,
I guess.
Zombie. Rose is a secret Titan, a secret zombie. So yeah, they had to kill William. This is the final time. It's called The Killing. So is that it? Killing William? Was that why they called?
It's so
or
bizarre,
all the killing
like
that
you don't
went
even
down.
see William's face.
No, it's like the actor got fired and they had to reshoot the scene. Like he did something real inappropriate, and they fired his ass, and they were like, we gotta just shoot his death scene, but we can't, not with him, because fuck him. And then they just filmed this really quick scene. Cause they didn't. Yeah. And I wasn't even sure it was him because I saw like at a glance and like on the screen, I thought it said like Velez and like he was saying, do it or something. Mm-hmm. And I looked over at Kayla. I was like, was that William? I was in denial. So yeah, it is just, and now, I found funny, like it is just, of all the people that showed up there, only those 3 people made it in.
Right. Out of everything, that whole crowd of people outside the stadium.
Mm-hmm.
And that's.
Well, I mean, also the other people. That was with Rose's daughter.
Well, they were already there, though. That's
what I mean. I mean, of the people who showed up to try to get in, right. Only, as far as we see, these 3. And Maps, apparently. Because he gets chased. This motherfucker should be dead, but we know he's not. But he fucking runs like... He had, like... I'd have been dead. You hear me? Because I got bad knees. I'd have been dead. The way those zombies ran. Kaylee thought Maps was going to come in and save the day.
When did I say that?
Because you thought, like, you kept waiting for him, because you thought he had to have something signict should happen, right?
Oh, I didn't say he was going to, like, save the day or anything.
Oh, okay, sorry.
Like,
I thought that's what you said.
He finally dies? Like, why did he get the title card?
Oh, I meant after that. I thought, okay, maybe I was thinking that. I'm sorry.
Why are you trying to make me be some kind of map supporter? What the hell?
You map sympathizer. So, and then her daughter is the one that runs up.
Mm-hmm.
With a gun.
With a gun. So,
as she was running up, I was waiting for something terrible to happen, like a zombie to come running off screen,
like fucking tackle her.
That's what I did. I don't know. I didn't
Not on
like
my
this.
watch. You didn't like what?
This whole thing with her daughter at the very end.
Why?
It just didn't seem realistic to me.
Really,
like
Donnie, it's a zombie show.
I know, but that they're basically, because you have to walk through the stadium. Like where they came in, they walked through the stadium to get in. That there's that's all connected to the whole stadium's all connected through those tunnels. So for them to be on the other side of the stadium,
maybe have it blocked off.
Yes.
So judgmental.
I know. Why are you being a hater? So like the episode ends, and we, for some reason, we're watching on the Netflix app on the Xbox, and the controller was on, but it wasn't working. Like it wasn't responding to commands. So Kaylee picks up the controller to stop the episode, and it starts the next episode. It gives you like 2.5 seconds to make up your mind. So the next episode starts, and Kaylee's like, I'm trying to stop it. It will. So she's hitting the B button. Nothing's happening. She's panicking. The title card comes up. It says Luke and Sophie. Kaylee's like, who is Luke and Sophie? So then I go to reach to take it from her, because I'm kind of used to it, because it sometimes does it when I'm playing a video game. So I was just like, I just take the one battery out, put it back in, turn it back on. So I like take the controller from her to do that, and the title card disappears, and a man appears on the screen, and I'm like, is that Maps? God damn it, that's Maps.
Maps Quest.
Did you say Map Quest?
Yes.
Oh my god. So, yeah. Maps is alive. Spoiler. All right, I'm gonna see if we have feedback. Does anybody have anything to say? Somebody make some season 2 predictions. Oh, Donnie, you don't know shit just like we do now.
No, I don't. But based off of the picture for season 2, it's like a ice zombie or some shit. So they must be winter.
I keep seeing her.
It's Black Winter now.
Black Winter. They done skip fall. That was fall. That one episode.
Or they're in Denver and it fucking snows there all year long. So.
Yeah, like again, I know that I quote unquote know how this ends because it's a prequel to another show supposedly, but I'm still like, it's just so good. Like I don't even care about that. Like I just want to keep watching. Hold on, let me pull this up. I want something sweet, by the way. Just warning you. Okay, So Kimberly says, hello, wait. Sorry. Hello. And RuPaul voice. I don't know RuPaul's voice because I've never watched a single episode of Drag Race. But, so we got some background on the Z-Pac, and Spears has to be on edge from the other equally sus military men, because, he is not really Spears, which they know all too well. It makes perfect sense that large populaces would be in the most immediate danger of infection, especially because of how quick it turns. That's what it makes it, just how quickly people turn. Like with the Walking Dead, you get bitten, you can live for a few hours or a day with with an infection. And then, anyway, I continue to love Sun and William, and I'm truly, this is episode 7 she's talking about. I'm truly warming up to Rose and Spears, aka Julius. We're not calling him that though, regardless of who he is, because the world that governed the rules that people live by no longer exists. Spears/Julius has been a source of support and protection, so yes, he gets to live and those other mofos gots to go. Exactly. I was just thinking, make sure you get the weapons and ammunition when Rose said it. So yeah, Rose. Yeah, Rose is, now I can see why Rose lasted longer than her husband. Now I see why his ass got bitten or whatever the fuck happened to him. Classic R&B Lover says for episode 8, wow, that was a short season finale, and one of my faves is no longer among us. I was right before when I said that it makes no sense getting invested in any of the characters on this show. At least Rose has been reunited with her daughter. For some reason, I read Rose, but in my head, I was thinking Sun, and I was like, huh? I keep screaming in my head, headshots, you dummies, headshots. And then I remember these ain't the Walking Dead zombies. You can't afford to wait for them to get close enough for the guaranteed headshot. Yeah. You have to aim and hope for the best. Damn, we keep losing crew members. This show ain't no joke. No promise of continued employment when you sign on for this. Except maps, apparently. Mm-hmm. Question 1. What do the zombified feast on everyone once everyone has been turned? Nothing. But it's like, because they don't,
right, it's like The Walking Dead. Like the zombies there don't always, they're just dormant. Like they just,
if there's nothing to eat, food, they just kind of,
right, they just kind of wander.
Mm-hmm. Question 2. What do the humans do to kill the zombified once there's no ammunition left? I mean, that's some serious hand-to-hand.
You gotta make it, remember? That's what Eugene was doing on Walking Dead. He was making ammunition.
When I was playing my zombie game earlier, I was thinking that, and I was like jokingly gonna tweet something like that, like if zombie shows and video games have taught me anything, is you should just learn how to make bullets. Like, that just feels like a skill you should have. Go on YouTube and learn how to make bullets, so when the Z-Pac kicks off, you can make your own ammunition. Anyway, there's a lot of great content on TV, cable, and streaming platforms. Far too much to watch, which is both good and bad. Yeah, TV has been pretty decent lately. Okay, so there's one more feedback, and then the rest is for season 2. So this is from Latoya. It's for episode 6. So it's one that we talked about last week. This show is fucking terrifying. Period. Point blank. Kaylee, is it terrifying to you? Because you don't really watch a lot of horror.
I watch gory stuff. I'm fine with gore. It's not terrifying. It's not like scary. And even then, I'm still fine with horror stuff. Gore doesn't bother me, so I tend to watch gore more.
So if this isn't scary, it's stressful to me. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I really do put myself in, like, what would this feel like? And I'm constantly like, this would be the worst. Like, I would just, especially if you're separated from your kids. Don't fuck
with, like, possessions and ghosts and that type of scary.
I don't mind that.
Well, you can watch any horror then. If you watch horror.
No, it's not like I don't want to watch horror movies because I don't that I'm scared. I just find most of them boring.
You're not watching the right ones.
Yeah. I mean, because I'm used to like really good ones from like anime or like or just like from Asian media. They do horror really well. So.
Okay, fair enough. Latoya says, I watched this months ago and my heart pounded every second. It just not let up from episode 1. It does, like, when I said it felt like a documentary, it really just felt like when you're, like, you know, those war correspondents who get embedded in, like, war zones, and they're like, we're here now with this one. It just feels like that. It's like, this is terrifying. Sun is my favorite, hands down. Mine too. Then Manny and Spears. Carmen, Rose is way down. Why is Rose way
What?
I mean, I know she's a white woman, but still. Oh my god, I like Rose. Maps is a whole mess. Listen, how that motherfucker made to season 2 is beyond me. I never liked him and kept saying kill this nigga every episode. I see y'all feel the same. But I will say he was bawling when Sun was talking to her mom.
You know what's frustrating about Maps? It's like he's not even like a bad person.
No,
but we still hate him.
He's useless. And it's sad because he's probably like how 99% of us would be.
Right. Just wishing for things to be normal again.
Yes, and we hate him for it.
Be interesting. Be different.
Right. Be better. Be a better person. Be better than I would be. Shit.
Teach us the ways.
I don't want to see myself shitting myself in a supermarket. Anyway, where were we? I love how they write Sun. With our English-speaking privilege, we, the whites mostly, tend to look down on those who don't, but they wrote Sun to be the smartest of the bunch, in my opinion. I agree. Listen, as fast as I am, as much as I can shoot and hide, I would be super dead in this world. See? Nobody survives this long term. Yeah, right? Like, you only survive this long term, and by long term, I mean more than a week, if, like, you are already in a remote place. And you're already a fucking, what are they called? A dooms prepper? You know what I mean? Like, you already live
prepared for stuff like this.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you already live and like you have a bunker and you keep a lot of canned goods. If you're like our friend Kat.
I mean, Kat.
My friend Kat preps.
I know.
Yeah.
I've worked with people that are like that have stuff prepared. Mm-hmm. Taught themselves lessons on how to survive without electricity and shit like that. Yeah.
Nah, just put a hot one right in my forehead.
You've seen how we get like a day without internet. Oh my god.
Not even a day. The internet was down for like 20 minutes a couple of weeks ago during the day. Me, Kaylee, and Jack were over it. We were just like, this is like fucking slavery. Please. How am I supposed to live like this?
I was thinking about that earlier. I think the most damaging thing that, like, if anybody wanted to be like terrorists or something like that, EMP bomb. Like, I'm just like, you don't
shut up. Don't.
But I'm saying, if somebody
don't say nothing. This is exactly how people get on lists, and you're a white man, so shut up. He's like, you know what I think about a lot?
Like, just
how to cripple the whole world.
Just take out every electronic thing and watch the whole world just collapse.
Okay. Where was I? All right. These fuckers are too smart, too quick, and the humans will have you set up to die anyway. I haven't seen season 2 yet, so I'll wait for y'all. Let's be freaked out together. Yes, let's. Okay. I'm super excited. I can't look anymore. That's all the feedback. I'm going to do a quick scroll through the email just really quickly, just in case. But while I do that, has anything changed? Are we definitely doing, we are, right?
We just got to decide on Walking Dead when we're going to do that because it starts Sunday.
Okay, yeah, I got all the Black Summer feedback. Okay, so anyway, thank you guys for listening. Me and Kate, who's making all that noise? Me and Kaylee will be back for some Attack on Titan soon, right? What's today? I'm trying to think of the day of the week people listen to this. Is this Wednesday? This is Wednesday. Okay. So tomorrow, me and Kaylee will be back with Attack on Titan. On Friday, we're finishing off our first K-drama, Beyond Evil. And then the week after that, Friday, our first K-drama together, Kaylee, right? Signal?
Yeah.
Kicks off. Donnie and I are still covering Money Heist, and there's a lot of good stuff coming up. We're going to be doing Only Murders in Our Building, and What If has started, and Titans has started. There's a lot of good stuff. So if you're not a premium subscriber, you might want to head over to patreon.com/podcastfandom to sign up and become a premium subscriber. If you sign up at our time travel tier, you get an early access pass to all of our content 1 week early. Really good deal. All right, Kaylee, predictions for season 2.
There's I feel like there's definitely a time skip.
I can see that. Why does that little girl have a gun?
The daughter.
What if we find out she's like in charge? Like she.
That's what she said. Like you jokingly said that she's the one in the lead because the way she walked down onto the field, yeah. The guy just let her.
He just let her go. I was like, what the fuck are we doing? We just like, did she know that's her mom down there? Because you're just letting her go. Did you know that's her mom? Oh my god. Okay. Donnie says it's in the winter time. So do you think they're living in the stadium? You can't live in the stadium. Right?
No, I think they're I would, because they never really told us where they were, right?
I think they're like in California somewhere. Maybe not. I was thinking like, I thought they said something about, it made me think it's the West Coast.
In California. So I'm just curious where, yeah, I feel like it was either like in the Midwest, in the West Coast or Pacific Northwest. Just even like when you're
watch it be Oregon.
Just that scenery and stuff like that. And there's a lot of trees and stuff like that.
Watch it be Oregon.
But then there was also a time I thought they were like in Atlanta, but
yeah,
who knows where the fuck they are.
Yeah.
But I would say season 2, they're probably in a different state, maybe.
That would be cool.
I wonder if it's going to be where they're split up. I don't think Maps was with them. I wonder if he's not with them right now.
That lucky son of a bitch. Okay. All right. Anyway, thank you guys for listening. We will find out very soon. Oh, by the way, if you are listening to this as a premium subscriber, guess what? Our time travel folks are already listening to us discuss season 2. So that's another reason you might want to upgrade your membership if you haven't already. Okay, that's it. We'll talk to you guys later.